I've never felt so free, loving one another like you did for me. Jesus, you're everything, my best friend. I'm gonna celebrate your love that never ends. Hey! Teach me, ooh, yeah, and show me how to love like you do, so I can live it out, live it out, live it out. Ooh, yeah. That's what it's all about. I can live it out, live it out. That's what it's all about. Live it out. Ooh, live it out. Hey,
We're gonna love,
we're gonna be kind
we're gonna pray for each other all the time.
all the time.
We're gonna serve,
We're gonna serve.
we're gonna forgive.
Ooh, yeah.
'Cause following you, Jesus, is the way to live. So I'm gonna live it out, live it out. That's what it's all about. I can live it out, live it out. That's what it's all about. Live it out. It's time to live it out, live it out. It's time to live it out, live it out.
Welcome to Story Lab. This week, we're taking a look at the story of someone who knew how to look out for the people around him.
Hey, guess I didn't get the flower power memo.
I got you covered.
Oh. All right. That's great.
Hey, I'm Skylar.
And I'm Sebastian.
All summer, we're talking about what it looks like to live like Jesus.
Also, we're setting up awesome activities for STEAM Camp. Science, technology, engineering, art, math. Go STEAM Campers! Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, not really.
Okay, so what are we setting up today?
We are gonna go flower power.
On it! We can use this fine flour to power some chocolate chip cookies, a cake, or even some scones.
Not that kind of flower.
Okay. We got sunflowers, mangolds.
Closer, but still no.
Then how are we flower powering?
How about a thermal powered flower? That's a tongue twister.
Sure. Let's take it.
Today, we're making a thermal powered flower. Step 1, cut out a flower and a leaf using a template like this.
You can get a grown-up to help you draw the template or find one online. You wanna know what they call me? The Picasso of arts and crafts.
On to step 2, carefully fold each of your flower petals so they form a fan shape, like this.
All right, step 3, take a plastic drinking straw and cut it down to 3 inches long. Boom.
Then cut down a wooden skewer to 4 inches.
Now, I think you'll wanna use these.
For sure.
You got it.
And there it goes. Step 4, take the straw and wrap around clay or Play-Doh around the base so that it can stand upright.
For step 5, you'll need one of these little guys. An eye screw. We're gonna tape the eye of the screw to the top of the straw.
But don't cover the top of the straw with the tape.
On to step 6. Take the little leaf that you cut out and tape it onto the eye screw. Perfect.
Step 7, take a very small piece of clay and attach the flower to the flat end of the skewer. Then drop it inside of the straw. The point should hit the table.
Perfect. Okay, so now we've got this. Where's the power?
Right here. Step 8, get your grown-up to help light the candles and then slide them under the flower creation. Make sure when you do, you avoid putting one directly under the leaf.
already seeing a little bit of movement.
Whoa!
Look, there it goes. Let's put all the other ones. There it goes.
It's like a little flower merry-go-round.
As the candle flames heat up the air around them, the warm air rises. This creates a gentle breeze that catches the petals and causes the flower to spin.
You are the wind beneath my wings.
Settle down, Bet.
I just love how the flames provide such a great boost for the petals.
Looking out for their flower friend.
Speaking of looking out for others, it's time for...
The story before the story.
Today, we're in the book of Luke. Luke wanted to clearly record the story of Jesus.
From the very beginning, when people turned away, God had a plan to rescue us.
At the perfect time, God sent Jesus, God's very own son, to live among us as a human.
Jesus was born a tiny baby and grew up like an ordinary kid.
He became wiser and stronger and more pleasing to God and to others.
When Jesus was about 30, he was baptized by his cousin John.
God's voice spoke from heaven saying, "You are my son, and I love you. I am very pleased with you."
Soon after this, Jesus began traveling and teaching and healing sick people.
Which is where our story starts.
Take it away.
Hey everyone, I'm Padma. Today we're talking about how we can look out for one another, something that we see over and over in the life of Jesus. In Luke, we read about the amazing things Jesus did and the way crowds of people started to follow him everywhere. At first, the religious leaders were simply curious about Jesus, but soon they got worried. Jesus was upsetting the way they had always done things and making surprising claims.
Who can forgive sins but God alone?
Jesus also spent time with people that the religious leaders avoided.
Why does he eat with tax collectors and sinners?
Jesus cared more about people's needs than about keeping up a good appearance. In fact, he allowed his disciples to pick and eat grain on the Sabbath, a day of rest.
That's against the law.
The religious leaders were talking about the special laws that God had given the Israelites when Moses led them out of Egypt. God wanted the people to learn to rest and to take time to connect with God.
Remember to keep the Sabbath day holy. Do all your work in 6 days.
Over time, the religious leaders got worried about breaking this law. So they began to put more rules around the Sabbath to make sure they didn't work, like dozens more rules. You couldn't travel more than a quarter of a mile from your house. You couldn't even light a fire or kill a fly. Those extra rules were not from God. Instead of making the Sabbath more restful, it made it more stressful for most people. One Sabbath day, Jesus entered a synagogue and began to teach. In the crowd sat a man with a weak, twisted hand. Right away, the religious leaders went on high alert.
Do you think he's going to heal that man, even though it's the Sabbath? Healing definitely counts as work.
Jesus knew right away what the leaders were thinking, so he spoke to the man with the twisted hand.
Get up and stand in front of everyone.
You can imagine, this man was excited and nervous, but he got up and stood there as everyone stared. Then Jesus confronted the religious leaders.
What does the law say we should do on the Sabbath day? Should we do good or should we do evil? Should we save life or should we destroy it?
Nobody dared answer. So Jesus spoke to the man with the twisted hand.
Stretch out your hand.
The man reached out. Everyone could see his hand had become completely whole and good as new. Amazing! Am I right? But the religious leaders did not celebrate with the man who had been made whole. Instead, they got super angry. See, Jesus had not broken God's law about the Sabbath, but all those extra rules made by the religious leaders. Jesus chose to ignore those extra rules in order to care for a man who was hurting and to make him well. But the religious leaders were so wrapped up in fear and in making themselves look good that they cared more about their own rules than about helping people. And so they began plotting how to stop Jesus. Jesus never let what others thought control his actions. Instead, he demonstrated for us all what the Apostle Paul later wrote to the Philippians. None of you should look out just for your own good. Each of you should also look out for the good of others. And that is the end.
Wow, the religious leaders never really got it, did they?
They really believed they were doing the right thing.
They sure did, but in the end, they were just looking out for themselves.
So, what's our part in the story?
All this summer, we're talking about how we can live and love like Jesus. And when we look at Jesus, we see that he kept his focus on other people instead of on himself. He cared more about looking out for others than making himself look good.
That's so hard to do sometimes. I mean, my default setting is me.
Yeah, it's easy to think about what I want and what I need.
For sure. But you can ask God to take your focus off you and help you look out for what the people around you need.
I mean, you could carry some extra pencils or pack an extra snack, so if someone needs one, you can give it to them.
You could look out for new people at school or church and invite them to hang out with you.
You could be on the lookout for kids who need someone to play with at recess.
For kids who need a place to sit at lunch.
For kids who need someone to listen.
Those are great ideas. And the more time and energy you spend looking out for others, the more God can work through you to change the world around you.
I love it.
I'm in.
Me too. See you next time.
So here's the thing. Look out for one another.
Your family.
Your friends.
Your classmates.
Your neighbor.
Because then they can say, "You are the wind beneath my..."
I'd rather see it than hear it.
Who doesn't need a little flower power in their day?
Thanks for joining us in the Story Lab. See you next time.
Think we can make it go faster with a little more candles?
Oh, you're on. That's one.
There it goes.